All right, Dylan, so hopefully this works. We just went over homework, and now we're going to do a couple more examples here of your word problems. Are you guys all ready to go? Yes? Okay. So let's look. Forget how far I want to go back. Let's look at number 54 was from, did we do 54 in your homework? No, we did 52 and 56, right? 54 we did yesterday in class. Did we get to this 57? No, we did not? No? Okay, so you guys go ahead and open up your Chromebooks. Oh boy. I don't know. Oh, there it is. It's on page 26 in your Chromebooks. And if you don't want to open up your Chromebooks, and if you can see this, we can just use this. Can you all see that? Okay, so I'm going to read it and we'll talk about it here. A ball is thrown downward from the roof of a building 30 meters high with an initial speed of 5 meters per second. Find the approximate height of the ball after a half a second and after 1 second. Well, those are both times, right? So if I can find my height function, all I got to do is plug those in. Fair enough? So are we talking meters or feet here? Meters. So my function is going to be h of t equals negative 4.9 t squared. That's how I'm going to start this. Remember that we're doing number 57 here. Now, was the ball dropped or thrown? Thrown. Up or down? Down, which means when I put my velocity in here, it needs to be negative. Negative 5 for my initial velocity. How high did it start? 30. So I'm going to put a plus 30 on the end there, and that's your height function. Everybody okay? All right, so now let's do left half of the room over there. You guys figure out the height after 1 second, and right side of the room, why don't you guys figure out the height after 1 second? So you guys do a half, you guys do one. Good? All right, what do we got? Halfers, what do we got over there? 26.3? We good with that? And this is meters. 1 second. 20.1? Sorry, sometimes with these headphones on, I can't hear anything. Now, guys, I would check and see if your answer makes sense. Does it make sense that the ball is higher after a half a second than it is after 1 second? That makes sense, right? Because aren't we throwing it down? Okay, fair enough. Good. Letter B. Approximately how long does it take for the ball to reach a window 10 meters above the ground? So I'm trying to solve for the time, right? What are we going to do with that 10? It's the height, isn't it? So I'm going to put it in for h of t. So we will have, and maybe I can try and squeeze it in right here. 10 equals negative 4.9 t squared minus 5t plus 30. Okay, how do you solve that? Well, I can't factor it yet. I got to move the 10 over, don't I? If I move the 10 over, now it looks like this. Like that. How we doing? Now, I don't know about you, but this factoring is going to be pretty interesting, right? Now, remember how we talked about factoring creatively? We're going to factor creatively here, and we're going to see if it works. Okay? Now, when you factor, normally we do this, right? How do I know what's going to go in the front of these parentheses? What am I trying to make? When I multiply, whatever I put in the front of these parentheses, what am I trying to make? I'm trying to make that, aren't I? So I know that maybe it could be, actually, I'm going to back up a second. I don't like this negative out front. Can I factor out the negative? Would you all be okay with that? Okay, so let's do that. Sorry, I got a little bit ahead of myself there. So that'll be a plus 5t and a minus 20. So that's what I'm looking now to factor. All right, so now I have my negative out here. If I want to make 4.9t squared, I could do 4.9t and t. Does that make sense, everybody? Okay. Well, how could I go about possibly factoring this if I have that set up? What do I want to make at the end of this? Folks, what do I want to make at the end of this? These two things should multiply to be what? Should be negative 20, right? So what could you do to try and get some factors that will give me a 5 in the middle and negative 20 on the end? Nobody? Okay, if you can figure it out, I'll give you extra credit for it. I'm not going to give in that easy, okay? So if you can figure out what you can do to creatively make this work, I'll give you extra credit for it. Deal? Sure? Okay. I believe that was the only question I really wanted to do. We're not going to do this one. Actually, let's do this one, number 60 here. This will be our last one. And I've got it posted up here, so you don't really need to check out your book there. The Tea-Rific Company produces 100,000 golf tees daily and sells them for 5 cents a piece. Assume the total cost of producing one tee is 2 cents. Find the company's profit P in cents in terms of the number of working days. First thing I need to make sure you understand is what's profit? You guys all had econ last year. What's profit? You guys speak up. Like money, okay. Be more specific. Earning money, right? So how do you find profit? How do I figure out how much money I actually make? Yeah, so I don't know. Let's say we sell t-shirts. Each of you buy t-shirts for $10. So what is that, $80 for me? No, $70 for me, right? Do I actually profit that $70? Do I actually make $70 from selling you all t-shirts? No, because I had to pay something to actually produce that t-shirt for you, right? So I have to take the money that I bring in and I subtract the money that I already spent. Does that make sense to you? Okay, so there's a formula for profit. Profit is revenue minus cost. Revenue is the money you bring in. Cost is the amount of money it took you to make whatever item it is you're selling. Now, they tell me that profit is going to be in terms of working days. So profit in terms of days. Revenue. How much money does the Tea-Rific Company bring in? We're talking in terms of days. So how much profit could the Tea-Rific Company bring in a day? Not 5 grand. Need a few more zeros. What'd you do though? What'd you do? Times the 5 cents. Oh, okay. So you times 0.05. Is that okay for 5 grand? We can do that. I was going to put mine in terms of cents. So it was going to be 500,000. Is that okay for everybody? But if we want to do it in terms of dollars, 5 grand will be perfect. And it might be easier to understand that way. Is that all right for everybody? Okay. So that is for one day, right? We'll call it D. Now I need to subtract the amount of money that it actually took me to make those. $2,000 every day, right? It's going to cost me $2,000 every day. So how much profit am I looking at making? $3,000. Now, of course, this is under the assumption that I'm selling every tea that I make, right? Okay, but this would be your profit function. P of D equals 3,000 D. Then you could just plug in however many days you're selling for, and you'll get how much money you should be making. Are we okay with that? Okay. All right, I think that's it. Quizzes tomorrow. You have 2 review worksheets. They should have keys with them. Let me know if you have any questions.